What's up, everybody? Tonight I'm coming to you from a tent next to a little campfire. I'm out on a hunt. I have an extra day off, so it's a big rut weekend, or should be at least. It's the end of October. Usually a good time to get a good buck. Have 3 days to be out here, so the plan is to solo hunt tonight. Was tonight, and then camp tonight, tomorrow, hunt, and then all day, like if need be. If I do end up getting one, then I'm going to head back into town. But just pretty much one of those weekends where you just camp and hunt until you get one. It's getting late in the season, even though it is October, but the weeks start going pretty fast. So if I'm going to make a move here, it's got to happen pretty quick. Tonight came out here as soon as work was over and established a general area for base camp. Wasn't really sure where I wanted to do it. Walked up an old trail, saw some rubs, a couple that were pretty fresh, and did not see any does though, or bucks, obviously. It's kind of that late that late time in the evening when there's not necessarily a lot of bucks moving. Some areas you can really pick up some bucks, and it's that 15 minutes, 20 minutes before sunset where they really start moving again. But the place I'm hunting, it gets a fair amount of pressure, and so it's really that early morning is the program that you want to follow, and you don't really see them coming back out too much unless they're pushed during the day, and in the evening it's pretty much until after sunset that they really start moving. So kind of as what I expected, and that's fine. So set up camp, got a little fire going, had a little dinner. Now just watching the fire from inside the tent, and going to go to bed pretty quick. It always feels weird to go to bed when it's 7 o'clock because it's 7 o'clock. The goal is to get moving pretty quick. I want to be up in a spot that's going to be pretty good, maybe pretty early. I'd rather be there. So I'm going to wake up, probably set the alarm at about 5:30. I'm not too far away from where I want to make a move. So I think I won't do too much walking after I wake up. I don't want to get up, get a little bit of food in me, make sure I'm good and hydrated, and then take the pack and move out of camp and get to that spot and sit for a little bit. And then if nothing pops out early on that nice little corridor I found, then I'm going to go back in, try to make something happen. There's a couple little fingers of alpine ridge that move down off the main ridge. So I'm going to go up in between a couple of those fingers. There's a couple little muskeg train you can kind of pick your way through into the back of that bowl. The problem with that, of course, is that if you're making a lot of noise, you can spook something out. And so I'm going to try to be as quiet as possible. There's a nice little muskeg back in there, so I can get back there without spooking stuff up too much. Then sit there for a little bit. I have a call that was carved by John Rowan, who was a native elder. I don't know if he'd want to be called an elder because he's not that old, but a very respected man. I feel kind of weird using it because it is art. I mean, it's he sells his art for a hefty penny, and it's absolutely worth it. So I feel kind of weird using it, but he carved it real quick. I mean, the guy is unbelievably talented. He carved it up and brought it to the staff party in 2008, the year before my dad passed away. And my dad ended up getting it, and Dad gave it to me. So it's kind of a reminder, when I go hunting, it's kind of like having my dad with me because he gave it to me, and then one of my favorite teachers, John Rowan, with me because he's the one who carved it. So it's kind of a sentimental piece. So that's what I'll call a little bit, and we'll see what happens. And that's about it. Just going to watch the fire for a little bit more and soak in being a solo hunter, man. It's love it, man. Gosh, it's nice to be out with friends for sure. But when you're out there by yourself and it's just you and your thoughts, and you can really you do some work, really really have some time. It's nice to be alone and work through some stuff if need be, or just have things quiet. Every noise, every movement is yours on your time, on your schedule, at your volume. So it's definitely not a bad thing, unless you're a bad company. If you're a bad company, then yeah, hunting solo or camping solo would be pretty traumatic. But if you don't consider yourself bad company, then it's not a bad thing. So that'll be it for tonight. I'm gonna just watch this fire go out, have a little bit of water, and then tomorrow, man, try to make it happen. We'll see what happens. The conclusion to episode 4 will be tomorrow's hunt. And if not, then, well, maybe I'll stay out another night and there will be another episode. Maybe we'll divide. Hopefully we won't have to. Hopefully it'll be divide this into 2. But if we have to divide it into 4, we will divide it into 4 little slots of October hunting in Southeast Alaska, near Ketchikan, not in Ketchikan. The solo hunter, mediocre Alaskan, Jeff Lund, out looking for deer. Well, here we are. It's past sunset. I tried all the reverse jinxes I could. Moped a little bit, whined a little bit. Man, I just can't figure it out. It's crazy. Last week, see a bunch of deer, bunch of bucks get shot. This week, see some new rubs. But it just looks like, man, they've gone nocturnal or something, and still seeing a pretty good amount of tracks. Just not seeing anything in the flesh, standing in the tracks or making the sign or anything like that. So dinner served. Dinner is done. It's 6:40. It's been dark for about an hour and 15 or so. So thinking about heading to bed early and then getting after it again early. Probably try a similar type plan with one little adjustment. I'm gonna head west of here and sit for a little bit there. I think I was at right time in the morning. Just a matter of seeing if anything's willing to play. It's Saturday tomorrow, so there'll probably be some other people out. Today was probably the day to make the best move, just because I didn't have work and pretty much everybody else did. So I figured today would be the day to make the move. Things haven't been pressured in a couple days. Man, it just looked like the perfect recipe, but I guess not. So tomorrow, probably be a little bit more company, people around. Maybe they're going to push the deer. Maybe they'll get them up out of their spots and running a little bit, and see what we can do. So night number 2, out, solo hunter, making it happen, or at least trying to. Talk to you tomorrow. All right, here we go. It's 6:15, hour and a half till sunrise. Slept pretty good last night, man, but I could not stop thinking and dreaming about bucks. All the enthusiasm and optimism is back, but it's one of those things, you go out into the woods and you got to have the deer cooperate too, and they don't necessarily want to die. So it's a big game of life and death here. So great night though, beautiful morning. You can see the stars, and off to the east, just that faint sort of early morning glow. Man, it just reminds you why you go out here and do this. I haven't showered in 2 days. That's not even a huge deal, but there's zero misery. It hasn't been wet, it hasn't rained. Just incredible time to be out. Solo hunt, man, a lot of time to just kind of reflect and be present with yourself in the woods and totally just chill, man. Just see what's really important, and it's great. So I'm going to try to get after this morning, and if something happens, cool. Looking forward to it. You gotta bring out all the tricks today. Got to make sure that I'm quiet and got a good plan, so we'll see what happens. Well, unfortunately, there isn't some sort of clutch performance here, something that I can talk about and say, oh, the odds were against me, and yet there came the deer that emerged from the brush just as I was about ready to head home, and so I came home and I'm hanging meat. No, that did not happen. There was no epic end to the hunt. It ended with me going to the grocery store and very hungry and buying things, which is never the best time to be at the grocery stores when you're hungry. It's even worse after a hunt because you have all of these cravings for all foods. It doesn't matter what it is, it's just food, and weird things sound really good. I got 2 cookies from the deli or from the bakery at a grocery store, and I'm not one for desserts really. I don't have them at home very often. I got 2 cookies. I got white chocolate macadamia nut. Sounded perfect at the time. So did an M&M's cookie, so I got that too. Ate them both on the drive home, where I had hot dogs for lunch, which is interesting, of course, because you're having camping food as the first meal back in society or in civilization. One would think maybe that I would not want a camping food. I have everything at my disposal, like a steak or something like that, but nothing sounded better to me than 2 Nathan's hot dogs with onions and peppers and cheese and chili beans. I kind of sauteed that a little bit and put them on top of the hot dogs. So it was a good reintroduction meal, albeit a little bit weird.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
So I decided to do a little bit of calculating, and I found that since August 1st, I've hunted 31 days. Today is October 29th. It's Sunday. So 31 days I've hunted since August 1st, 2 of which I have been successful in bringing home deer. So that is a 6% success rate, which that's not good. That is not good. If you were to just look at the occurrence of success and compared to how many days out. But oddly, well, I guess not oddly, most hunters are kind of in tune with this, that it's not necessarily how many times you're successful. Pretty much every day that I went out in August, I was seeing something, but it's early in the season, and because the season up here is from August 1st until the end of December, if you shoot all your tags in August, then you're done. You know, you're done with the season. So there's definitely some bucks I passed on. So I had the opportunity, but having the tag in your pocket is like that permission slip to a more heightened sort of existence when you're out there. It's one of those things that's hard to explain. But yeah, I like hiking. I really enjoy hiking, but it's different. You know, when you hike the mountain, the end is the end of the trail. And so the goal is to get to the end of the trail and there's a view, or, you know, it's pretty, and you sit there and it's beautiful. It's awesome. The end of the hike, it's very expected though. You know what's going to be up there, especially if you've been more than once. You know exactly what you're going to see. It's just a matter of how the conditions of that day are going to make it unique. When you're hunting, the entire process changes. There's a deeper sense of involvement with your surroundings, because while I'm still hiking, I'm still moving. I'm engaged on a level that I'm not when I'm just hiking. I'm paying attention to how my feet sound, the sound that my boots are making against the trail if it's gravel, the sound that my boots are making if I'm walking through the muskeg. So you have this spongy, watery material that you're walking through. And it's a little game in your head. You're trying to be as quiet as possible. So stepping more on the tip of your toes so you don't have that boot sucking sound when you're getting your heel out of it or your foot out of it. Where can you place your foot to make the least amount of noise? And then as you're looking into the woods, you're not just surrounded by trees. If you're on a hike, you're surrounded by trees and you're surrounded by the forest, and things get your attention by making a noise. If you're hunting, you're engaged so much because you're looking through the woods. You're looking for that face. You're looking for the eyes looking back at you. You're turning sticks and branches into horns. You look at that perfect sort of V. Oh, that's a fork. And then it's not. It's just branches. You're so engaged and you're on this edge and your brain is it's just working. And I still really enjoyed hike, but hunting, it's just next level. It's just the brain. It can get exhausting because your brain is so engaged, and your brain burns calories. Your brain needs calories. Your brain is working. And that's oh man. So it's working on that level, and you're so enraptured by the moment that it's hard to think about anything else. When people say, "Oh, I just let go of work," well, sometimes it's impossible to think about work or to think of any other problem that you got going on because you're looking for a deer. You're looking for food. You can't, there's not enough energy or not enough attention to be thinking about work while you're hunting. If you are, then that's an indication that, hey man, I need to be paying more attention because I'm probably walking right past something. But so if you look at a 6% success rate in the 31 days since August 1st, I'm not really sure having a higher success rate is indicative of having more fun. I could go out there and, if I would have shot the first 4 bucks I saw this year, I'd be done and be over it. And what would I be? I'd probably be hiking during the weekend for sure. Maybe doing a little bit more trout fishing. There's that winter time right now when you got some trout fishing can be pretty good. You got that early winter, I should say. It's not winter yet, but so I'd be doing something else at the time, but. Man, this morning just did a little circuit, and it wasn't anything big. It was a short drive from my house. Saw some rubs and saw some pretty fresh tracks. And I'm thinking, man, I'm in it, And it's just 2-3 hours this morning, and man, it's great. It's great. So 6% success rate, not indicative. Does not truly reflect the way this season has gone. It's been great so far. So. Yeah, it's perspective, perspective for sure. If the goal is to get out there and kill a deer, then all right, well, you go out there and you kill a deer. That's always kind of the underlying mission, if you can work the semantics and say, okay, the mission is to get a deer, but the goal is to be outside, something like that, or vice versa, or the point of hunting is to get a deer, but the goal is to be outside, something, whatever, however you want to word it. It's one of those really difficult definitions that hunters have to deal with. Because if we say, I love hunting, it's fun, to a non-hunter, that sounds awful, right? As if we were going to walk up to the deer after we've killed it and point at it and say, yes, that's where you're at on the food chain. I dominate. I'm on top of the food chain. I'm the alpha. No, I don't know anybody who's about the killing of another animal, the taking of a life. There's definitely that euphoria that you get when you see the buck, and you make a good shot, and then it drops, and you go up there and I did this. I've gone to the source, and I have not outsourced the food getting processed. I can do it myself. That's the great feeling. That's kind of the fun. But for people who don't hunt, it can really seem as though we derive a lot of pleasure from the killing of it, from the establishing ourselves, or to reestablish, or to show the dominance that we have over animals. And that's definitely not it. For some people it is, for sure. You have poachers out there who shoot deer and leave them. They're about the killing, and that's sociopathic, sadistic, whatever. But the vast majority of hunters, and all the hunters I know, it's about the process. It's about being out there, and it's about that sort of, because we're all descended from people who had to do that. That used to be just the norm. We had to be able to have these sort of skills. You couldn't get away with not having some sort of hunting and gathering. You couldn't get away with not having some sort of outdoor, adventure-y sort of hardcoreness. Now things are a lot easier for us, which is great, and so we have choices. We can say, I don't want to be doing any killing myself. I want to go buy stuff from the store. That's totally fine. I want to get my free range organic. Totally can do it. You can be a vegetarian. You can be a vegan. It's not necessary for you to have to go out and get food yourself, or to have those sort of skills, and that's great. But for those of us who have enough skills to go out there and do it, and it's that process. It's that I am out here and I am alone if it's a solo hunt, or I'm with some good friends, and we're looking for meat, and we're pursuing that, and we're getting that enriching. It's the best way to disguise exercise, I think. Some people hate going to the gym, or I just can't go. I don't want to just go run every morning, or run during a long run during the weekend. For some people, that's boring. Some people, that's the way to do it. I ran a couple of marathons and half marathons, and I remember doing long runs on Saturdays in preparation for the training, and that was down in California. So that was kind of looking for the weekend. It's the long run. But now it's, you hike 7, 8, 9 miles. All of a sudden, you get tired. Man, I'm kind of beat. What's going on here? I'm beat, and I'm just tired. Yeah, well, you were so into hunting, you were so engaged in the process and focused so much on being quiet that you forgot to drink water for the last 3 hours, and you've been carrying a pack, and you're going through the woods, and you're contorting yourself to get around these bushes and these branches and these trees so that you don't make noise. Yeah, those last 5, 6, 7 hours melted away, and you should be exhausted, and that's how we feel. So, perspective for sure. Would I have liked to have been successful? Absolutely. No question. I would have loved to have that third buck, but it's the way it is. It's that perspective that you have to hold on to. Otherwise you get too focused on just the results, and there it is. So I'm trying to figure out a good day to release these. Sunday seems like a really good day. I had been releasing on Wednesday and kind of had that be the goal, but I think Sunday might be the day to do it. Tell me what you think. Either leave a comment here, or shoot me a message there. Let me know if Wednesday is good, if Sunday is good, whatever you're looking for. The weekend recap thing on like a Sunday seems to be a good time to release it. Other people holding off until Wednesday, but I think if we have the preparation going into it, I don't know. I have no idea. Still figuring this out. Really enjoying doing it so far. I got some great interviews lined up. Got CrossFit coaches lined up. I've got teachers lined up. I've got all kinds of hunters and fishermen and people like that. The goal is to really get a good idea of what it's like to live in Alaska, what it's like to live mentally tough, to strive for more than what society says is average or mediocre. Really going to keep diving into that, because I think we need to restructure our definition of what mediocre or what average is. Because you really can't be average if you're not engaged. If you are a 7 out of 10 at work, and you're a 7 out of 10 at home, whether that be a father, a husband, a boyfriend, or whatever, and you don't really do anything else, you can't be a 10 out of 10 Netflix watcher. That's kind of the absence of anything. So if you only have 2 things that you do, your cumulative points are 14. But if you're 7 out of 10 at work, and you're 7 out of 10 as a fisherman, 7 out of 10 as an angler, 7 out of 10 as a camper, 7 out of 10 as a hiker, 7 out of 10 at the gym, that's a lot of 7s. You're engaged in a lot of stuff, and life is really what you do outside of work. Work can be fun. Work is great. I love teaching high school. It's great. Every day I'm excited for it. Doesn't matter if it's Monday. Well, okay, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes Friday is a little bit better than a Monday. But I'm excited for it. I get fired up to go to work. I love my job. I get to do that. But that's only one part of my life. that can't be everything. And I have some friends who really motivate me because, as a single guy, it's easy for me to go outside and hunt and hike and fish and camp and do all that stuff. But I have buddies who, are great fathers and great husbands and go to the gym, and they have so many things on their plate, but they make time for it. And you can't consider those people average, because if I'm just an average person, well, you can't put someone who is a father and who is a husband and who, my buddy Chewy, owns a gym and he works full time. Like, you can't put him into the same category as other average people. You can't put my other buddy the people you surround yourself with, and there's all these people other people, I don't know that person because they're not extraordinary. They don't have their own show. They haven't done all this stuff. So they would fit into this ordinary type category, but they do so much. There's no way you can put them into that same category. So I think that we need to adjust our average a little bit, because it's not indicative of what people are actually doing. You have people who are engaged in so much stuff and are getting so much more out of life, but they're considered average. And I think that should be it. I think our average should absolutely be people who do a lot of stuff and might not necessarily be experts at everything. It's kind of that jack of all trades, master of none. But I'd much rather be that than the passive, inactive average. The average person who goes to work and goes home. How is that the average? What are you doing? What are you doing? So the people who are active in doing things, those are the people that you want to be around. You think, gosh, where do you get the energy to do that? Well, there's a lot of average people who have a ton of energy and are putting forth effort to do as many things as possible and are really living that lifestyle. And compared to others, oh yes, they're totally average, but I think we need to adjust our average. We need to slide that bar up. We need to raise that bar, or at least individually. Collectively it'd be great, but we should expect more out of ourselves. Like the average people who aren't great at things, but who enjoy it. I'm not great at hunting, 6%. Not an amazing steelhead fisherman, not an amazing fly fisherman, not a great fly fisherman at all, but I enjoy it. I love getting out there and doing it. And I think our country has become, I'm not good at it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm afraid of failure, and so I'm going to quit. That's terrifying. That's terrifying to look at. So there you go, a little rant. I'll save a little bit. I got some good guests, like I said, lined up, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to investigate that in different realms. But we'll call that episode 4. Thanks again for listening. Check out themediocrealaskan.com. You can also look at the Mediocre Alaskan on Facebook, and follow me at Alaska Lund on Instagram and social medias. And we will talk to you next time.